Greetings to all. As you may have heard me said, I have no shame. If I'm going to tell a story that ends up being about someone being reckless in their behavior, rather than me talk about someone else, I'd rather talk about my own shame. I sincerely accept that if you're going to tell a joke, let it be at the expense of yourself, not that at the expense of anyone else. Okay, but going on now. This is a crazy story here, and my son don't like when I tell him about some of the, my events in life. But this is a story about when I was incarcerated. I had met this joker. I can even call his name because I'm quite sure he's deceased by now. But his name was, just listen to his name. His name was Bruiser. And he was locked up for murder. And when I got into the system, he had already had 17 years in, and anybody's been locked up, the old vets, they had 38 jobs in the jail. They the referees of a ball game. They cleaned up the gym. There'll be a house runner. They'll work in the kitchen. They'll work in the library. There'll be a barber. They've learned to manage their way through the system. Okay, so, but this was an old head that I had gotten cool with. You know what I mean? He was, it wasn't like he was built like Hercules or anything, but he had a little height on him, probably 6'1", 6.5", something like that, and probably weighed about 240. But it wasn't nothing that was defined as him being muscle bound or anything. It was like a motherfucker that was now in his 40s at that time that had 17 years in jail. But as you might have heard me say, I was a pinochle head in jail. Cars, oh man, I love that damn game of pinochle. And as well, I played chess, as I've often said, and as well, I read. Those were my three hobbies. There was no working out. I wasn't pushing no weights up. They were too damn heavy to hold up. So that wasn't my steez. I'm making a short story shorter. This guy, Bruiser, after knowing him about 4 years, close to 5 years, something like that, and I had went in jail, came out, and then came back. So it wasn't like a 4 or 5 year stint straight. Let's go with after 5 years, maybe 38 months, 30 months, 2.5 years, something like that, being around it because he was a lifer. And when you're going through the system, the life has already been through it, so you don't have to wait till you get to whatever, whether you're going to the farm, whatever part of the jail they got you going to. And at this point, man, my man Khalil, he was from Atlantic City as well. And we used to play pinochle. I'm telling you now, it was like a fucking Super Bowl event. On Saturday and Sunday mornings, man, you get up and you go to one or two barracks, and you hoping you can find a game. Because in the joint they call count, at least no less than every 4 hours, probably sometimes every fucking 90 minutes or every 2 hours. But you can go from Saturday morning to like, they start calling breakfast out at maybe 6:30, and by 7 in the morning, man, the people trying to get to the pinochle table and play their games. And so you end up having partners, so that way you ain't got to worry about whether you can get in someone else's table. You already got enough players to play for yourself. And so me, my man Khalil, which was my eating partner, he was what I would call a partner in jail. and Bruiser. But like I said, Bruiser had life, and Bruiser had all type of connections in the joint. I mean, motherfucker could go in the kitchen, he can get green peppers, he can get sliced cheese, he can get onions, he can get raw eggs. In the kitchen, if you got to work it, you'd be surprised you could live differently from what the jail menu is. All right, and so me and Khalil, we used to I'm playing a game of cards and pinochle. Our conversations were predominantly about the females that we have relationships with. You know, we gangster talking about, you know what I mean, the females that we have been dealing with. But Bruiser never, never conversed with us. He never brought up a story. He never brought up anything in relationship to his street life as far as with relationships of a female or anything. So I just took it as, well, the nigga got 17 years in, and by this time he probably got like 22, 23 in. And so he's finished telling his fucking street stories. He don't want to hear that shit. I mean, he don't mind hearing it. He's being patient with us, but he wasn't sharing in our conversations. And so we used to always talk, you know, and then I started getting sick. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And it was bothering me for like about a week and a half, and it just kept on being persistent, and it was getting worse. And so when reporting to my job detail one day, the CEO was like, yo, Crumble, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know, man. I said, I can't breathe. He was like, nah, man, hold up. So he stopped me. He made sure I went directly, calls on the radio to get me directly over here to the center. Something's wrong with me. I don't know what the hell is wrong. I just know that I can't breathe. Well, I ended up having pneumonia. And I had been having it for 2 weeks without knowing it. And it had simply gotten to the point that I couldn't breathe no more. And when you have pneumonia, your lungs are full with fluid. There's no space for it to bring the air in, so your breathing is more like. And I remember when I was young, a couple of people hearing what I had heard of dying of walking pneumonia, you know, that you can have pneumonia and not know it because the symptom was simply a shortness of breath. Okay, but going on further. I had to be taken. So they took me on, put me on medical lay-in. I couldn't leave my bed area until after 4 in the afternoon, and I was on 10-day medical lay-in, 2,000 things of antibiotics a day. All right, so when they get me back and I leave center and I have to report to my housing unit, they had called the CEO at my housing unit and let them know that I should be there in any minute. And in this area of the jail, it was called the Huts. The Huts, right? And so I'm leaving center and I'm just trying to get to my bed area. I'm fucked up. And Bruiser lived in the Huts. And so he had said to me, yo, Pito, can I talk to you a minute? And I was like, nah, man. In the Huts, it was known that you don't go there before 4 o'clock. It was the CEO that worked there, Gandhi. And he was on like motherfucking crocodiles looking for black babies. That motherfucker was vicious. He was just waiting to fuck with you about small shit. And so Bruiser had said, yo, Pito, can I talk to you a minute? And I was like, what's up, man? He was like, now come on in here. I was like, nah, man, I'm not fucking in no Huts. Nah, man, I got game. Don't worry about it. Come on in here. And so I go into his room with him. He says, I was like, what's up? Because I can't really breathe that well. And I'm like, and I just want to get away. And I'm like, what's up? He was like, yo, man. He started rubbing his motherfucking chin, right? And so I'm like, all right, what's up? Talk to him. He's like, nah, never mind, man. I'll talk to you about it a little later. I said to myself, damn, That shit was weird as hell. But he ain't gay, so I ain't worried about it. This one I say that as smart as I can think that I am, at times I can be just as a novelty. I can be just as, I can be dumb in the motherfucker at times. Plain and simple. And so, but I remember I says to myself, damn, that was weird. But that nigga ain't gay. I've been on it now 4 or 5 years. I never any similarity of him being attracted to a man or anything to the sort. I just thought that he never talked about the street spin with females because he was much older than me and Khalil, and he didn't want to have those little childhood talks or whatever. I don't know. And so, okay, but like I said to myself, damn, it was weird. But he ain't gay. Okay, I ain't worried about it. And let me add this in. At this time in the joint, I was also going on furloughs. I was bringing things back to the joint. All right, and with my person, it's amazing. In there, whenever I brought, let's say, like if I brought, hypothetically, if I was to bring some drugs or something in there, I never used them to sell or anything. I would give to my homies. You know what I mean? Blase this and blase that. The only thing is you don't know where you got it from. And my thinking was that I didn't want the controversy of trying to hustle in jail on that order and someone owing you money and then putting you in a position that you would not want to be in. And so, and I've never been greedy. And so my personality, I'm more of a giver than a taker. Ain't a nigga gonna motherfucking tell you he ever gave me anything. I don't give a fuck where you are, who you are. Ain't no motherfucking Atlantic City gonna tell you they gave me shit. And fucking Atlantic City, my life. Other than my mother for the first few years, I've always been a motherfucking hustler. I've been traveling on. Like I said, I'm sick. I could barely breathe and whatnot. And a couple of days later, when I wake up, as I said, I'm a medical lady and I don't have to get up for work or nothing. And when I wake up, I don't know whether it's 9 or 10, I don't have to wake up at 6 in the morning, whatever. And after you wake up and you stretch, and I look and this motherfucker is sitting in the corner of my fucking room. And I look at him like, what the fuck? Man, I go off on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? I sound like a goddamn wild cowboy at that time. You know what I mean? Like I would have ripped the nigga's head off. But that's just the way that I was expressing myself. But I couldn't calculate what the fuck was going. What the fuck is you doing? Why are you in my fucking room sitting in the corner? I told you I want to talk to you. Talk to me about what, man? What the fuck? You want to try to create some hustle? You want to see if you can get some of this or get some of what the fuck you talking about? He does the same shit. All right, man. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you, man. He leaves, and I say to the guy, oh, come on, man. This shit is weird as fucking hell. But he's not gay. Just how stupid I can be at times. The only thing that it can be at that moment is that he's gay. Now, all it takes for me to be objective and recognize there ain't no man gonna sit in no motherfucking man's room in the corner looking at a man while he's asleep. But as I said, as great as I can be wise and sound informative, to the same degree, I can be absent of awareness and knowledge. It comes hand in hand. As great as you can be to that equal is how ignorant you could be, or whatever you want to equate it as. Okay, so now a couple of days go by again. And I'm woke, though, at this time. It's probably like about 9:30 morning, something like that. I got the TV on, but I got my headphones on, too, listening to music and got the TV on. And the shadow opens up in my door. A light comes in my room. And I look, and it's this motherfucker again. Walking in my fucking room without knocking on my fucking door. And now I'm hypo heated, angry and mad. Motherfucker, did not tell you, God damn it. Don't fucking come in my fucking room without knocking. Peter, I told you I want to talk to you. Talk to me about what? Damn, nigga, you got me betwixt now. What the fuck do you want to talk to me about? This motherfucker walked over to me and went to like raise his hand like he was going to touch my head or something. I looked at this motherfucker. I smacked his fucking hand away. I'm going to tell you the truth. I was scared as fuck. He scared the shit out. I didn't know that the nigga was gay. I was scared as shit. I ain't gonna bullshit you. I would love to tell you I caught it with a two-piece, and took the nigga out. No, that ain't what happened. I was shocked. Nigga, what did you reach? And I was like, what the fuck is you reaching the fucking hand for? But he was more intimidated by me. My response, he cowered into the corner. And when he like I said, I don't have no shame. When he cowered into the corner, and I seen then my opportunity to get out of my own room. I left my fucking own room. And that motherfucker I had to go through, I had to put water in my face. This shit had blew my motherfucking mind. A fucking grown man with a beard and everything. And this, what the fuck can a man look? Listen, I don't have nothing against anybody's preference, but in my eyes and beholding, it's not my taste. That's not me. I don't want no man like me. I don't like no man in no type of way like that. And, okay, so boom. Now, after this happened, he ends up leaving, okay. And, because I had to go to the bathroom, like I said, I had to throw water in my motherfucking face. What the fuck is this going on? This nigga I've been knowing all the time was what? What the fuck was he reaching? Nigga, did you want me to do something to you? Did you want to do something to me? What the fuck was your intentions? All right, I'm going to make this shorter. I just simply asked my man, Khalil, did you know that this motherfucker was gay? Khalil said, yeah. I said, you knew? Why the fuck would you not tell me? He said, what would I tell you for? You ain't gay. The nigga ain't gonna try you. The motherfucker tried me. He tried you? Yeah. Niggas, a couple of motherfuckers want to do something, try to act like we gonna go and muffle them on down. Nah. That ain't my interest at all. Nah, we're gonna let this shit be. Leave it alone. This is me, and I just have to deal with this. A week and a half or two later, and I go in my, I live in Fort Barracks. I go in Fort Barracks. This motherfucker sitting out front there. And he says, Peter, can I talk to you a minute, man? I'm like, yo, what's up, man? What's up? He said, I want to apologize, man. He said, I didn't know. I said, you didn't know? What the fuck made you look at me and think that I was fucking gay? Literally. This is what he fucking said to me. He said, you so nice. He said, you'll do shit for niggas without expecting nothing in return. You'll give shit to niggas, man. You just that. And I said, that made you think that I was gay? He said, listen, man, listen. I want to apologize, man. Can we just go back to being friends? Nah, nigga. We don't greet. It ain't nothing, period, ever. You know what I mean? But that's a fucking true story. And there ain't many motherfuckers willing to tell that type of shit. Everybody want to act like they gorilla, Now, if we're in the closet, we fighting, you're going to have to fight. When you caught off guard, and the motherfucker, listen, everybody gets a chance to be brave, and everybody gets a chance to be scared. The fact is, we need to know that we are neither one of them. We have the potential to be either or. That's not what we are. And that's, again, I have no shame. So if I'm going to tell a story, let it be about me. Peace, Hotep to us all, and goodness.